Well, hey guys, it's time for another episode of It's Crow Time. Episode number 50. That's right, we hit the 50. We want to thank all our supporters out there and all our listeners. Without y'all, we could not reach this incredible milestone. So thank y'all for helping us get here. I can't believe it when I started this. I never thought we'd get here, and here we are at episode 50. Our guest today is going to be Mr. Canaan Bryce. We'll chat with him about how he got started. We'll also chat a little about sports. We'll chat a little about video games and so much more. It's all coming up right here, right now. DJ, hit that intro music. Then June 15th, 16th, and 17th in Duncan, Oklahoma, we're going to have the first annual Legacy Fest. It'll be kicked off by Corey Kent. Will be headlining that night. Cody West will also be there. Jacob Stelly, Kylie Frey, and Parker Ryan to round out Thursday. Friday will feature Holly Beth, Matt Williams, which you can catch his episode right here on It's Crow Time. No Justice, Them Dirty Roses, and rounding out with the iHeartRadio new alternative rock band winners, Giovanni and the Hired Guns. I know I said that in the last clip with Calf Rap, but let me tell you, I'm going to keep saying it because those are my boys. And Saturday, we'll start off with Travis Roberts, Chris Canterbury, Shelby Stone, Dalton Domino, that's right, Jesus and Handbags himself, Jordan Nix, Slade Coulter, Gracie York, Ryan Charles, Treaty Oak Revival, and rounding out the night's going to be Craig Campbell to round out the first ever Legacy Fest. And if you're wondering if you can get those $100 tickets, those are sold out, unfortunately. But the Red Dirt Rebel out of Lubbock has a special offer for you. If you use the code REBEL, capital REBEL, you can save $30 on GA and VIP tickets at checkout. This is a Red Dirt Rebel exclusive discount. For more information, visit www.thereddirtrebel.com/event/legacyfest promo code inside/. So, shout out to Red Dirt Rebel for hooking you up with those those discounted tickets. I'd definitely take advantage of that, folks. All right, and then June 21st through the 24th in Fowler, Idaho, it's time for the 10th annual Highway 30 Fest. That's right, they're celebrating their 10th anniversary. 4 days, 33 bands, family-friendly music festival in the grass, under the trees. Bring your friends and help us celebrate the Highway 30 Music Fest 10-year anniversary. It's going to be a great week. Wednesday, it's going to be Holly Beth, Taylor Honeycutt, Gracie York, Ellie Mae, Kat Hasty, Tin Hill Towns, Ella, Morgan Wade, and Lainey Wilson is going to headline. You know, she's got that heart like a truck. But here we go, folks. We haven't even touched the surface. Here's the Thursday lineup. Caden Madden, Joe Stam Band, Palmer Anthony, the Lowdown Drifters, Red Clay Strays, Jackson Dean, Ella, the Still Woods, and Shane Smith and the Saints will be headlining. So you do not want to miss that. All right, and Friday, the Weathered Souls, Eli Howard and the Greater Good, Them Dirty Roses, Jesse Dane and the Sagebrush Drifters, Muscadine Bloodline, and the iHeartRadio new alternative rock band winner, Giovanni and the Hired Guns. Told you I was going to do it. Then Ella, and then Reed Southall, and then Whiskey Myers to round out Friday. Saturday will feature Logan Jenke, George DeVore. I don't know how to say that name. Hoosier Brothers, Tanner Usry, Dylan Wheeler, Pecos and the Rooftops, Ella, Colby Cooper, and the boy from Yellow Bush Road in Pittsburgh, Texas, Mr. Wetzel, will be headlining. All bands and times are subject to change, though, so keep up to date by going on HWY30 and go give them a like on Facebook, and you'll be in the know. You can get your tickets also at squadup.com, which there's an event for Highway 30 that will take you straight there. Once again, that is June 21st through the 24th in Filer, Idaho. So if you're listening to this and you're in the Idaho region, go check it out. Because let me tell you, we got something brewing down here in Texas, though, for us that can't go. And we'll get right to that. Now here's a word from Uncle Gordy.
Hey, y'all, this is Gordy from Highway 30 Music Fest, coming to you live from Texas Motor Speedway. We're going to hold a music fest October 19th through the 22nd.
You're Gordy?
You're Cody Jinks.
Can I come to your festival?
Absolutely. Would you like to come be the headliner?
October 21st?
Yes, Saturday night.
I'm in.
You're in. Hell yeah. You know what, y'all? We got Cody Jinks. We're going to announce him as our first headliner for October's show, and I am so excited. God bless. Take care. See y'all real soon. Bye.
And we now know the headliner for Thursday through Saturday. Thursday will be Dierks Bentley. Friday, it's going to be that boy from Oolagaw, Mr. Zach Bryan. Saturday, as you just heard, is Cody Jinks. But Sunday, who do you think it could be? Well, you can go on Gordy's HWY 30 Texas Edition Music Festival, and you can go comment to see who it's going to be and see if you're right. All right, folks. So you know what's happening in Pauls Valley on June 16th through the 17th? Maybe you've heard, maybe you haven't. But it's once again time for the Okie Noodlin' Tournament and Music Festival. Friday night will feature Eli Young Band, and Cat Hasty will be kicking things off. I believe tickets are $15 to get in, so go see that. But then Saturday, hold up. I haven't even got to the best part yet. Saturday will feature Gaden Freeman and CC Rev. You know them boys from Cotton County. And headlining will be none other than, you've seen them on Yellowstone, Shane Smith and the Saints. That's right. And here's the best part. You don't have to pay a cent to see these two amazing bands. All you got to do is pay $5 for parking. $5 to see what with the bill like that and the lineup. $5 ain't nothing. So why don't you head on over to Pauls Valley June 16th through the 17th for the Okie Noodlin' Festival and Tournament. And let me tell you, they're going to catch some big old swamp donkeys, that's for sure. All right, folks, with that being said, we'll be right back. Are you looking for something to do with old dad? Or maybe you want to do something with your buddies besides go play around a golf? Or maybe you just want to take the old father-in-law out. Why don't you go see Deep Down Outfitters right here in the Falls? They're based out of North Texas and Southern Oklahoma. They run dove, duck, and geese. And also, they hunt the legendary sandhill crane, which, let me tell you folks, if you have not heard about the sandhill crane, it is the ribeye in the sky. They also do fully equipped thermal hog hunts. So, if you want to go out there at night and shoot some big old hogs, definitely need to give these boys a call, because they'll bring home the bacon for sure. They offer lodging, so you don't have to worry about getting a hotel or that expense. And it's really just a fun family environment. So why don't you go see my buddies at Deep Down Outfitters and tell them I sent you. Let's face it, the worst thing to deal with after a storm is the damage. That's why I personally recommend Elite Roofing and Restoration. They'll walk you through the process. They also offer many different services, including HVAC, electrical, garage door repair, and so much more. So why don't you give them a call for a free estimate at 405-443-7979 or send them an email at eliteroofingYukon@gmail.com. They'll work with you. And at Elite Roofing, their motto is honesty, integrity, and transparency. Mr. Canaan Bryce, what's up, man? How you doing?
What's going on, brother?
Oh, nothing. Just enjoying life, you know. Just it's been hot though. Damn.
Yeah, it's getting a little warm in Texas. I'll tell you that. And it's it's a love-hate relationship because we don't do very good with the cold.
Yeah.
I enjoy it because I'm almost 300 pounds, but when that heat comes around, it definitely starts changing up everything around here.
I'm right there with you, brother. Yeah.
I don't know if you're a big boy or not, but big boys don't do good in the heat.
Oh, I'm about 350, 6 foot, 6'2", so yeah.
Yeah. I'm 6'3", about 280, so I definitely feel your pain.
So we're just gonna get into it. So how did you get started, dude?
Man, I've always watched my family friends play music growing up, and really never knew that I was going to do music. And then got into college in my first year with me and my girlfriend at the time. We were over at TVCC in Athens, and she ended up going to Sam Houston the second year. And they caught me as we were signing up for schools and stuff, and they offered a free choir scholarship, and I was like, I don't even sing. And they were like, try out, and, we'll give you a scholarship. I was like, okay. So I went there and did the whole do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do thing, and they tested out my voice and was like, hey, you're pretty decent, we'll teach you. So my first semester in college, I was in choir and started to learn guitar from YouTube about halfway through that semester. Mm-hmm. And all the choir kids kind of made fun of me for playing country music. And I was like, man, I really don't give a shit about choir anyways. So the second year I didn't do it. And actually, my second semester I got in college cheer, which was really cool. And
were you on the show?
No. This was like a few years before the show came out.
I was about to say my wife, she's big into that show. So when you
Navarro's our rival over there at TVCC.
That's what it seems like, dude.
But man, I was basically just cheering, being a personal trainer, and learning guitar from YouTube. And whenever that school year let out, I went back home and started playing like a little acoustic shows here and there. And, all your friends, whenever you suck, your friends are really nice and they tell you that you're really good, and you just kind of keep going regardless. And man, got a full band together, started putting out an album, and a few years later, here I am.
I remember, I remember when you put out that album, I was like, Canaan Bryce, man, this guy's badass.
Yeah, that was back in our little country stage. We was big on the Texas country, and it was kind of a weird time because about the time that we put out the album, about a year after that is when like streaming was a thing. So it was like I watched, Randy Rogers and Wade Bowen and even Will McCart Green be such like an album band. They put out just like great, 10 to 15 song albums.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, hell yeah, I'm going to do it, just like the legends that are from Texas. And I dropped the album, and then all of a sudden everybody's like, Spotify. And the album definitely didn't get the love it deserved, just because it was in that big transition stage of music, which is okay with me because Spotify's done a lot of crazy things for a lot of good people.
Yeah, definitely. I think Spotify has, and then of course, TikTok.
TikTok's the golden ticket nowadays.
Yeah, definitely is. I mean, who was it? Zach Bryan. I think that was what got him known. I believe.
Man, I remember then, even before TikTok became a thing, I think as Zach put out a few videos on Twitter and YouTube,
mm-hmm.
and just slowly kind of started taking over the world, which is absolutely wild. Guys has some phenomenal songwriting, so I mean, it was only a matter of time.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it was like when Something in the Orange went out, and then of course it was shown on Yellowstone, and that's just when it just exploded.
Yeah, I think Something in the Orange really, really boosted him kind of over the top. Like, you hope for that, like, push to the next level of the music industry and fame and stuff like that. But whenever Something in the Orange came out and took over TikTok, that shot him completely to the top of everything.
Yeah, and then there was another Oklahoma artist, Corey Kent, and he just, I mean, like you said, it just took over TikTok. Like, it was crazy. Yeah,
that was wild. I actually have known Corey Kent for a few years, so it was really crazy to see.
Yeah.
I went and saw him at the amphitheater in New Braunfels at Whitewater, and he was opening up for, I can't remember. It was a really, really big artist, and he was the co-headliner, and I was like, man, I just saw this guy in Oklahoma, like headlining some nowhere town bar, and there wasn't a lot of people there, and they really didn't know who Corey Kent was. They loved every bit of it. They loved his show and him. He's a super great guy, and it's crazy to see him to go from that to like almost sold out at Whitewater Amphitheater.
Mm-hmm.
Just thousands and thousands of people singing that song.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then I think I saw where he went. I can't remember if he got an award or what, but he went to the ACMs, and I was like, "That's crazy."
That's pretty cool. I didn't see that. That's pretty tight.
Yeah, I don't know if he won an award or not, but I think he might have got nominated or something. Of course, I know his drummer. I think his drummer is this still Donovan?
I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah, and then I know his bass player played with Chance Anderson a few times. I can't remember his name, but he's a nice guy. Old Chance. Man, dude. We had some, I call him, it's funny. So I have him as a friend, like on PlayStation. And back when, oh gosh, it was several, it was still the Chance Anderson, like when Colby and them were still playing with him.
Yeah.
So I call it his gamer tag. Of course, I think Jack uses it more now, but his gamer tag it said bacon juice. So I was like, I came up to him, I think him and Gannon were doing an acoustic show. And I was like, "What's up, bacon juice?" And he's like, "What?" And then he remembered, he's like, "Oh," he said, "That's funny."
Dude, it's so crazy knowing or not knowing how many people are actually gamers in the scene.
I know, right?
Some of the people you'd never think were gamers are gamers, and it's really cool.
Dude, the craziest thing, so back during COVID, I saw on Jake Murphy's story or on Instagram, he was on Call of the Wild. And I didn't even know who Jake was at the time. And then I just messaged him and I was like, "Hey man, I see you played Call of the Wild." And at the time, I was playing that game like religiously, like grinding on it. And he's like, yeah, man. He said, we gotta hunt on there sometimes. He says, usually when I get on there, I'll hunt with Mike and Josh Abbott and Co. And I was like, he said, I ought to get you in on there. That'd be really awesome. But we never did get to because COVID ended and they went back on tour. But I was like, that would have been something. Just playing games with, Mike Ryan, Josh Abbott, Co. Of course, Co's a good buddy of mine, but like, and Jake, and yeah, on tour outdoors virtual edition.
Yeah, for real,
man. So what you play?
Man, I'm a big Call of Duty guy, and I like Assassin's Creed. I've always liked all of the Assassin's Creeds. It's always I'm kind of a history nut, so anything to do with history, I dig it.
Yeah.
I'm waiting to have some time to sit down to start this Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah, I heard it's worth it. Like, they say it's crazy.
Yeah, they say that it plays just like Assassin. So the people that made Assassin's Creed are the same people.
Oh, sweet.
That designed all the gameplay was the same people that made Assassin's Creed. So I'm looking forward to it for sure.
So back when, what was the last one to come out? Valhalla? Was it started with
Valhalla?
Valhalla. So when that came out, I got that. I bought that. Well, I bought a pack of them, and it came with like Odyssey, like all of them, dude. Like, what's the one where you play like Jack the Ripper? I forgot.
I know which one you're talking about. It's like in the old English days.
Yeah, that one was really cool.
I really, really like that one.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
That was like I like the one where you start out as like a Native American, and then you slowly get into like the Revolutionary War. It's like blue coats versus red coats.
Dude,
that was pretty solid.
Which one was that? Because I couldn't remember. Because that's why I got it. Because I wanted to play that one.
I can't remember which one it was.
I probably.
But also another one I liked was the Black Flag.
Is that where you're the pirate?
Like, it's whenever they first started introducing like the ship travel.
Oh yeah.
And you're basically a pirate.
Yeah, that ship travel's crazy because you could just go raid everybody.
Oh, dude, I love it.
Yeah. So.
And I'm also a big. I like a few old school games like Crash Bandicoot and Resident Evil and stuff like that.
Heck yeah. They came out with that. They redid Crash. And I think they redid Resident Evil too, didn't they?
Yeah, they remastered it basically.
Yeah, remastered it.
It's I think they just came out with like an actual new Crash game.
I think so. I think I saw it on the PlayStation Store.
What they need to do is come out with a Crash movie just like they did with the Super Mario movie.
Dude, yes. That'd be awesome.
I actually just got, we played in Trinity last weekend for this private party, and then we went and hung out in Huntsville.
Uh-huh.
And I got Crash Bandicoot tattooed on my leg.
Heck yeah.
So that shows you how big of a fan I am.
So I used to race, I used to do NASCAR in this league. And one of the guys, for the longest time, I think it still is, that's his avatar is Crash.
Yes, me too.
Yeah. So, are you PlayStation?
Big PlayStation guy.
Heck yes. Heck yes. Not to offend you Xbox users out there, but PlayStation's where it's at.
I owned the Xbox 360 back in the day, and all my friends were playing Halo and Gears of War and stuff, so I went ahead and got a 360 as well.
Yeah, I had a PS2 for 8 years, and then I got a PS3 when it first dropped, the original, and it did the yellow deathlight. It freaking just fried. So I brought my PS2, and I had that playing. Dude, I had that thing since I was like 5. And it still worked until I was like, I think I was like 16 or 17. And my mom got me a 360 for Christmas one year, and I was like, I don't know about this. But I think if you look at it, I think like all of, like PlayStation players, they probably owned a 360 at one point, maybe.
I feel like you should at least.
Yes, you should. I mean, you gotta have Xbox Live experience it once. But
Absolutely.
but
And I got a Switch not that long ago. I haven't played it much, but I've always been a Super Smash Bros. Fan.
oh yeah, Super Smash
So
Bros is awesome.
I think the last time I played was on with Pecos on the rooftops, and them. Their old drummer Cade is like a Super Smash Bros. Superstar.
Really,
Because of how good he is.
that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of Pecos, if you ever see him, I play Madden as well. If you ever see Pecos, make sure to remind him that I whooped his ass on Madden.
Dude, it's crazy how bad Madden has gotten. Like,
Yeah.
I'm kind of excited because I got the beta for 24, so I'm excited about that because they're hyping this one up. This one's going to be the one where they make all these changes. Of course, it'll just be the beta, so it won't be anything, like the final piece. But I mean, I'm so pumped for college football.
Yeah, same. And, I don't know if it was a real concept or not, but I saw on Twitter the other day that they were going to make basically like Texas football as a game.
Really, dude, I saw
And
that.
I don't know if it was like a real thing or just like a concept. But
I can't remember.
that would be wild.
I saw that because, yeah, that would be wild because they had like a video of it, and I think it was like a mod on NCAA 14, but they had every high school team in Texas, and I was like, that is wild. But they're coming out with this that Maximum Football. They're coming out with a new one at the end in the fall, I think. And they said people are talking about like the customization because you're going to be able to like upload logos and stuff and everything. People are talking about doing like XFL and like they're talking about doing some college, and it's just like that's awesome. But yeah, it's crazy. I hope they put Team Builder in the new one.
Yeah, for sure. I've always been a Blitz the League fan too.
You like getting them steroids?
Yeah, giving steroids, breaking bones. what I'm really hoping for is that they make like an XFL game.
Yes.
But kind of like Blitz the League, kind of mix it in.
Dude, that'd be crazy.
I really wish, and XFL, I really like the concept. But I feel like if they wanted to be like a big badass league, they could have came up with a little better names.
Yeah.
And I feel like Blitz the League had so many great names that they could have used.
Well, I mean, like even when you like when you created your team, like there were so many names.
Yeah.
And then you had your girlfriend, and you don't want to piss her off and everything, and it's like, what the heck?
Me and my drummer, he's a big XFL fan. So we were talking about it the other day, and they was like, can we just like agree that they could have had a little bit cooler names for being a little bit like, NFL's just putting so many rules on everything, and the XFL is like to combat that and be like old school football, And we were just like, to be like a little bit harder of a football league, I feel like they could have came up with a little better names.
Yeah, totally. But I went back before COVID, I went to the first edition of the new installment of the XFL. And of course, I was freaked out when I came into Old Texas Stadium and they turned it into a football field. It was kind of weird, because I walked in there and I was like, you can't even tell now. You can't even tell that it's a baseball stadium.
Yeah.
But, it was really cool. It was really cool though. So, during the game, my uncle, he said at halftime, he kept watching these seats down, like, at the old first baseline, they had that kind of like a little concrete wall, where you could put your feet up, right there.
Yeah.
So he kept watching these seats, and he was like, at halftime, we're going down there. And so we went down there, and it was really cool, dude. I was sitting there, and of course, I was excited because I'm a big OU guy, and Big Game Bob's coaching, and I think it was Frank Robinson. He was on the sideline. I hollered at him. I was like, "Hey, Boomer!" And he was like, "Sooner!" And I was like, "Okay, my day's made." Of course, Landry Jones was the quarterback, so yeah. And then the cool thing was, dude, on the sideline, standing next to Bob was Kyler Murray, just watching. That was really cool. I was like, "Whoa, he's really that short." But yeah,
that's pretty.
Yeah, but
so you're an OU fan, huh?
Yes, sir. Well, I'm originally from Oklahoma, so sooner born, sooner bred. When I die, I'll be sooner dead.
I do have an Oklahoma team, but it's definitely OSU.
Oh God. Okay, I'll say this. Okay, I'm a diehard Sooner fan, but I love Stillwater. I'll go to Stillwater over Norman any day. And it's funny. So my brother, he's a big OSU fan, and he got I wish OU did it, but he did the half season tickets. Where you get 3 games. So
yeah,
I went with him to. My mom went with him to the Arizona State game at the beginning of the season. Well, I went with him to. We went to the Tech game, then we went to the Iowa State game, and it was pretty awesome. But then we went. He played at Filthy's, and the next day we went to the TCU game. That went into overtime. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting to see old Duggan in person. Who would have known? Because at that time, we were like, these guys, they got to get beat at some point. They got to get beat, but no. So are you like a Pokes fan? Like, is that your only college team, or?
No, man. I pretty much support every team, every Texas team there is, and I have a few teams kind of outside of Texas. OSU being one, but never been a real big Aggies fan for some reason. I don't know.
I'd rather be an Aggies fan than a Horns fan. I'll tell you that much.
I've been a Horns fan for a hot minute. Ever since I watched Vince Young win his championship.
No, I did like that.
But, man, he's I don't know what the hell they're doing over at UT, but whatever they're doing, they're not doing it right. It was good to see TCU as an underdog come up last year and whoop everybody's ass.
Yeah, that was crazy. I did not expect that at all. I was like, holy crap.
And I've always been a Frogs fan.
Yeah.
So.
My wife's cousin, he played back in the 90, whenever LT was there, because I asked him when we went to see her other cousin, he played at Gonzaga, and Gonzaga played Tennessee at Frisco, so we went at the beginning of the season, and I asked him, I was like, so when did you play at TCU? And he said, well, you remember LT? And I was like, yeah. He said, I used to block for him. And I was like, wow, that's awesome. I was like, but you didn't make it to the league? He's like, no, I wasn't that good.
Small world. And it takes a lot to make the league, man. I'll tell you that. I did college ball over at TCU TVCC, I'm sorry.
I was going to say, dang.
Shit, I wish. But no, I played college ball over at TVCC my first year, and man, I'm a pretty big cat, but I did not get a chance whatsoever. Because TVCC is a community college, and one thing I noticed when I got there is they would send like a lot of D1 athletes that didn't have their grades
Kind of like Last Chance U, kind of.
Yeah. They would send all these D1 athletes over here to fucking whoop ass for a year and get their grades up, and then they'd send them back to D1 schools.
Right.
And so, Canaan Bryce, man, he thought he was big until he got around these 6'7" cats, and these boys are big.
I bet, dude. Especially D1. There's a kid.
Man, they had I can't remember his name, but they had a tight end from Boise State down there.
Oh, really?
The guy was massive. And I was like, okay, I can't. Whatever he can do, I can't do any of that shit.
Yeah. So my little school in Oklahoma, Chattanooga, we didn't have football growing up, but we had a kid that won the Super Bowl. So this kid played baseball, went to the draft, got drafted by the Braves, didn't like it, walked on at OSU and played basketball. And then he ended up at Southeastern in Durant, and he wasn't playing nothing. He was just going to go to school. Well, he was bored because he was done with like all his gen eds and stuff. And Cody's 6'8", and he's like 260, so he's a big dude. And he asked the coach, he's like, could you use a body? And the coach said, yeah, come on out. And he saw him. He's like, yeah, we could use you. So he played tight end. And one game he caught like 4 touchdowns, and it just so happened that there were scouts there. But he didn't get drafted. He went undrafted free agent with the Rams. Then he got cut after preseason. Got to see him play. He went to the Cowboys. Got to see him play in the preseason. That was really cool. And then he got cut. Well, then he ended up at Tampa Bay. And he was there when Brady, first came, and, they won that Super Bowl that year. He was on that team. But yeah. So I guess that's our claim to fame. We got a kid that won the Super Bowl. No football team.
We had who he played? We had a guy out of Waxahachie that played. I think he's on the Eagles right now. Rager.
Oh yeah.
Is it Jay? It's not Jalen Rager, is it?
I can't remember. I think he's a wide receiver, right?
Yeah, wide receiver.
Yeah, y'all had a couple basketball players too. I think one went to OU one time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've always had a solid basketball program, and our football program was like pretty solid until they started bumping us up in the rankings.
Oh yeah.
I think my senior year was like our last really good year. The senior class after that, the senior class before us was like the first senior class to not make it to playoffs.
Wow.
Like 20 or 30 years or something like that. I can't remember what they said. That's then our class, we made it to the playoffs. And then the class after that did decent. And then I think that next class of players, I think they hired Kitna to come in, John Kitna.
Yeah, I think I heard about that.
He was our head coach for a few years. Dude,
that's awesome. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, he was better than Romo.
Yeah, dude, it was kind of weird because like I went to a few high school games where he was coaching.
Uh-huh.
And he it was almost like watching yourself play Madden,
Yeah.
Like he'd be like faking kickoffs and faking punts and like going for it on fourth.
Yeah.
Like it was pretty gnarly and something, dude. Like 70% of the time it'd work, but I don't know, man. It was like some fucking Madden 2008
stuff. I think
it was pretty.
I think when Sean Payton, when they had that bounty scandal and he was out for so many, I think he was out for a couple seasons. He was down at Argyle. I think it was at the private school down there coaching.
Yeah.
I was like, can you imagine? Of course, our guy, you know, they're already freaking good. And then,
Yeah.
who was it? There was Jason Witten. I think he's coaching there now or something I saw.
I want to say I saw that.
That's crazy, dude. Like, for real.
And Jason Witten's like my top player of all time, hands down.
Yeah, I mean.
I was a tight end, so.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
in turn, you know. And, like, whenever I did the walk-on program at TVCC,
Uh-huh.
I think there was, like, me and another white dude there. And they pretty much just called me Jason Witten. They really didn't care to learn my name. They're like, hey, Witten, come in. Let's go.
Oh, man. That's crazy.
It was a fun time, though, dude. A lot of great guys.
The Headless Horseman.
Yeah, cheerleading was phenomenal, though. I will say that. Football was cool and all, but I can encourage anybody to do cheerleading. And not like cheerleading in high school. I mean, like competitive cheerleading.
Right.
College cheer was like a whole nother world.
Yeah.
And TVCC is like one of the best.
Yeah.
You know, colleges, you know, in Texas.
Just go watch Netflix.
I was pretty pissed off because so they started the Netflix documentary, I think like 2 years after I left, and that they started it at Navarro, and whenever we went to Daytona to the cheer comp, we actually got second to them. It was a big cry fest after that, and then we pretty much just hung out in Daytona, which was super cool. We got second, so
too bad
we weren't
too bad the 500 wasn't going on then.
Yeah, right.
Of course, I don't know about nowadays. Nowadays, it's gotten horrible. Good Lord.
Has it?
Oh yeah, it's definitely NASCAR is about to go under. In my opinion, it's.
Well, I'll tell you what's been a pretty prominent sport in my life here lately is golf. Man, I picked up golf like maybe this time last year. Maybe a little less, and it's consumed like 50% of my life. Like whenever we go to like Buffalo Wild Wings or like Applebee's to eat, or we sit down at a bar somewhere, I'm like, hey, dude, turn the golf channel on.
Yeah.
I watched the Full Swing documentary on Netflix.
That was really cool.
Dude, it was super, super cool. I'm a big Tagala fan. He's a Dallas boy. I live in Waxahachie, just south of Dallas. So, and man, I've been playing my ass off, especially after I found out how much money they win.
Yeah.
I was like 56th place, and you're winning $300,000.
Yeah.
And the buy-in's like $300. I'm in.
Yeah.
You got me.
Dude, so last year, my mom, she called me and she's like, we were just talking and she said, oh, guess where I'm going? And I was like, where? She said, I'm going to the PGA Championship. I was like, you don't even watch golf. She's like, I know, I'm just going. Her friend had bought tickets for him and his son, and then he asked her if she wanted to go. They were like $600, but like she said it was like unlimited food and like unlimited like not like alcohol beverages, but like Cokes and stuff. And yeah, and then they left, you know, right when who was that? Was it Justin Thomas?
Yeah, Justin Thomas.
Yeah, when he started coming back and oh crap, who's the dude that choked? He had like, because it was between him and Zalatoris for the longest time, and then he choked. I forgot who it was, but yeah, I told her, I said, you left at the best part. She's like,
we wanted to go. Me and my buddy, one of my best friends. he called me earlier and was like, "Hey, dude, you want to go to the Colonial?" And that's here in the W area.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Shit, maybe." And he was like, "Tickets are like $80."
Ooh.
And I don't know if you saw the videos of a guy named Michael Block. He's like a golf instructor at a college, or a golf teacher at a college, and he ended up winning one of the championships and beat out John Rahm, who just won the Masters. And all these people that he looks up to, he just like whooped their ass, which is really super cool. And so they called him and invited him out to the Colonial this weekend in DFW.
Well, he had that ace last weekend in the championship, did he?
He fucking dunked it.
I was like, what?
And just some regular old college golf teacher. That's wild.
Well, who was that kid that...
What's super cool is like his whole life is changing. Just, a regular everyday dude. And his life's like changing at the moment.
Yeah. Who was that one dude in it was the Masters. He was like from A&M, and he was on the amateur tour, and he finished like 5th in the Masters.
Are you talking about the short skinny kid?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was crazy. They said he got back and like everybody, like as soon as he stepped off the plane at College Station, like everybody was greeting him. That's A&M for you.
Man, I got some Snapchats from a friend last night that was hanging out with John Daly. I guess John Daly's in town.
Oh my gosh.
And for the Colonial.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, man. I had a picture with John Daly, man. The legend.
Well, that's like my cousin, he's a big golfer, and well, it was when it was the PGA Championship when it was going on. He was at Hard Rock like all the time. And my cousin Wyatt Zane, he played at that, was that Trick 5? Well, his little brother had on his story, he was sitting there, and he had a video of Wyatt playing. Well, then John Daly's just sitting right there, and I was like, dude, go talk. He's like, no, I didn't want to disturb him. He's like, that would have been so cool though.
Yeah, they were at some bar last night, and there was some people playing there, and they invited John on stage and started playing, and Stoney showed up, and Stoney started playing. It was pretty cool.
Was it at Filthy's? Because I saw some where Filthy's was like packed last night.
No, it was like I can't remember what it was. It was like some outdoor venue. It's pretty nice. I think
I saw something where Stoney showed up somewhere, and I think that was another thing. But yeah, it was like, that's right. It was like some outdoor venue or something, because they said, I forgot who it was. They had a picture with Stoney. It was some musician, and said, yeah, he just showed up and everything. But that's crazy. Yeah. If you have,
I love how like they're just like everyday guys. Like you can just show up at some random bar and they're just there drinking.
Yeah,
it's cool.
So awesome, dude. Like, and usually they're not a-holes, but sometimes.
Yeah. No, I've hung out with Stoney a few times. He's super cool.
Well, this is what I've heard about Stoney. So my buddy, his name is, they call him Petey, and he works security. He's worked security for like all these bands, but he works.
You talking about Big Petey?
Yeah, old Petey.
That's what's up. I know Petey.
Oh gosh.
We got pretty drunk and he went a few times.
Yeah, can you believe he used to be a cop?
Did he really?
If I remember right, that's what I heard in Lawton. He was a cop or something. I can't remember.
I can see it. There's so many stories you hear about PD, and you just never know if they're true or fake, man. And the guy's like a legend, so you almost have to just believe all of them,
Yeah, we were here at the Iron Horse, and it was St. Patrick's Day, and it was right before COVID, everything happened. Well, I'm sitting there recording, like I was recording Shane Smith, and I put the camera on Petey. Well, you know he does his signature flash, showing off them nipples. Oh, he's something. But now let me tell you, if there's like when work needs to be done, like if somebody's on stage, he'll get her done. I've seen him go from funny to serious real quick if somebody's trying to, rush the stage or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to you, Wayne Petey, if you're listening to this.
Guy's a legend, man.
Legendary. If you haven't met Petey yet, you're missing out, folks.
Yeah, you ain't doing something right again.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I'll tell you what I got into, dude, and I've never got into it before, but I watched the Kentucky Derby, and so then I got into the Preakness, and I watched that, and that was exciting because I was like, can Mage do it? And then of course I didn't have no bets or nothing, but that was pretty exciting watching that. I've never watched it been into horse racing before, but it was really cool.
Oh, dude, it gets intense.
Dude, it does. It's what they say. It's the most exciting 2 minutes in sports or something.
Oh yeah, dude. I went to the horse races for the first time with. Well, technically, I used to go to the horse races all the time. Whenever they used to have that Lone Star horse racetrack in Arlington, where they used to have like a bunch of. I've seen Eli Young. I've seen Randy Rogers, Wade Bowen, Ragweed. I've seen so many bands there. And but the first time I actually went to the horse races and watched and bet, I went in Oklahoma. I can't remember what track it was.
Remington Park.
Yep, that's it.
Yep.
And lost a little bit of money there. Ain't gonna lie to you.
I'll tell you what I want to go to sometime. I was telling my wife I want to take her. So they have these exotic races, and they race. I've seen it before, like on like Snap stories. I saw they raced ostriches, zebras, something else. But I was like, can you imagine an ostrich race? That'd be awesome because them birds are freaking fast.
Oh shit.
Of course, racing stripes you automatically think about. I mean, zebras you automatically think about racing stripes.
Yeah.
Oh man, dang! I saw a thing. It was talking about baseball, and it said during the 93-94 season, they had a player strike, and it was the first time they didn't have the World Series. But the top movies were The Sandlot, Rookie of the Year, and Little Big League. I was like, I did not know that. That's pretty neat though. And who would ever thought those would be? Of course, The Sandlot's a freaking classic, and I mean, who would ever thought it'd be, when they put those lines. That's what I was talking to my wife. I was like, when they put in these lines, like, like You're Killing Me Smalls or something like that, did they ever think they would be like, legendary lines or something,
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. Crazy. All right. So back to music. So let's talk about, is it your latest single, OKC? So what's the story behind it?
Man, if I told you the real story, I'd piss a lot of people off. But
well, if it's what I'm thinking it is, you're good.
yeah, for sure. But man, I've always been a really big songwriter.
Mm-hmm.
I've always put a lot of substance behind my lyrics, and the band that I had at the time were like super like rock and roll. Like my bass player was heavy metal, my drummer was heavy metal, my guitar player was like a heavy southern rock and roll player.
Heck yeah.
And we jammed, and we had a lot of good rock songs that we played. But we didn't have like a really good rock song that I wrote. And I put my guitar on drop D and started just playing around, and I was like, damn, that's really good. And I was like, man, I just really want to write a rock song. You know, I've never really written a rock song, but I want to write a really, really dirty rock song that's just about fucking fighting and drugs and you know, all the shit you want to hear in a good rock song. And I just started out with that line. Like, I went up to Oklahoma City, got me a bottle of pills, the cheap stuff that tastes nitty gritty, makes me forget how I feel. And, you know, I was like, damn. I was like, that's dirty. I like that. And then I just kept playing it on guitar, and I wrote the whole song, you know, in my living room and showed it to the guys, and they were fucking pumped up about it. And the job I was working at the time, I just kept listening to it over and over and over again. And I was just like, man, something's missing. I was like, there's something that's just like I need to add something to it. And this was, you know, before all the fuck yous were in it. And I was sitting there listening to it, and the recording that I had on my phone, I just, I like to play what I have and then like just continue the chords to see if I can add something to it afterwards. And I was just sitting there really pissed off, having my headphones on at work, listening to this over and over again. I was like, fuck, I can't stand you, man. And I was like, hold up.
Hold up a second.
And I tried to do the whole verse thing where I try and mix it up. But I just kept going back and just repeating the same thing over and over and over again to a big build-up. And I was just like, that's it. I was like, that's my song right there, you know? And it was super cool. It just kind of came to me while I was at work, while I was all pissed off.
That's awesome.
And, yeah. And so, you know, you're right about, you know, life experiences and stuff like that. You live and you learn. And luckily, I got a good song out of it because OKC is slowly becoming, you know, one of our fan favorite songs. And, you know, I think everybody that's in a bad relationship or ever been in a bad relationship that, you know, they don't mind like getting drunk at a show and putting their middle fingers in the air and, you know, screaming fuck you, you know. You don't get to do it, you know, in the relationship most times, and you don't get to do it, you know, at your home or at work. So, you know, whenever people get out to the shows and they get to let loose and they get a little drunk, you know, that song just kind of gives them that chance to kind of let it all out.
Well, I'll tell you, dude. So I came across TikTok, and it was a story about that, and I was just like, yeah. I don't blame you. But,
hey man, you live and learn.
Right.
There's no hard feelings on my side whatsoever, but you know, people have their own outlook on things, and you know, you really can't. No matter how good you do, it'll never change anything. And I think we just kind of leave each other alone for the most part. So
that's good.
If she's happy, I'm happy, and you know, hopefully she's happy for me in the same regards.
Yeah.
But for the most part, we kind of,
well,
you know,
one of my
things.
Yeah, one of my buddies is Brock Wilson. So yeah.
Yeah, dude, no, Rock's a homie, dude. I'm so happy for Brock.
I know, dude. It's awesome, but yeah.
Wheeler gig, dude. Me and Dylan have been playing together forever, so it's really cool to see him, you know, playing in, you know, stadiums and coliseums and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I'm with him most of the way.
Dude, it's awesome seeing that. Like, and it's crazy. I was talking to Brock one time. I was like, I said, dude, what? Because Kai, I think, who's his other guitar player? Kyle?
Yeah, Kyle.
And Kyle used to play with Cameron Hobbs, didn't he? If I remember right.
He is probably one of the best dudes I know in the scene.
Yeah. I met him one time. Me and Cameron are buddies, and it was a weird thing. It was at Jack's. It was like a toy drive or something, but they headlined, and yeah, it was really cool getting to meet them guys. But yeah, I didn't want to go too deep into it, but
Nah, you're good, Bob. You're good.
all right. That's so let me ask you this. So, who's your biggest influences for songwriting?
Super easy answer, man. There's a band out of Memphis, Tennessee by the name of Lucero. And he is Ben Nichols, the lead singer, is hands down one of my favorite songwriters ever.
I'll have to look them up.
Man, way back in the day whenever I was still in high school, there was an album that came out, and it was, I want to say it was their Tennessee album. But, man, Lucero kind of took over the world for a little bit. Yeah, it's if you have any album that you listen top to bottom to, this is hands down. Like, I will sit there and listen to this album over and over and over with no shame, no regret. And if anybody gets pissed off, I'll tell them to eat shit. Like, hands down, this is the album that made me love music.
Did you say Loose Arrow or?
Yeah, Lucero, Lucero.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they've been I think my buddy Matt Moran played with them. I think it was at Dan's, I think they had like some show. But yeah, I know who you're talking about now. I thought you said Loose Arrow, like, like a loose arrow.
Oh, no, Lucero is hands down my favorite. I actually have I always wanted a Lucero tattoo, but I wanted a tattoo because like Lucero fans are kind of like a cult. Like it's one of those like bands that never like rose to stardom.
Is Bobby the lead singer?
Do what?
Is Bobby the lead singer?
No, it's Ben Nichols.
Okay, because I was about to say, I think I hit this guy named Bobby Lucero about doing an interview, and I thought he was the front man for that band.
No. This band, they're from Memphis, and they've been playing forever. And yeah, I didn't want. I've always wanted a Lucero tattoo, but I didn't like. I wanted a tattoo to let people know that I was like a super fan, like they are, because pretty much anybody that's a Lucero fan is a super fan, and they have. If you ever go to a Lucero show, it's one of those bands that like they're not genre driven at all. Like at any point in time, you go to a Lucero show, and you can see bikers, you can see frat boys, you can see, people that work in the city in the office of Dallas, and you can see, the country boys that, throw hay for a living. They don't have a fan base. The fan base is pretty much everybody.
So kind of like Jason Isbell, kind of.
Yeah, kind of just like Jason Isbell, except Lucero's a little bit heavier than Jason is.
Oh yeah.
Because so Lucero actually used to be a punk rock band called Red 40, like way back in the day, like back in the 90s before Lucero was even thought of. And whenever they transitioned from doing like the heavy garage punk rock, Ben Nichols started doing his like songwriting thing with Lucero, and man, they, like I said, they kind of it was kind of like a Reckless Kelly thing, Those guys are from like Idaho or something like that.
Stanley, Idaho.
Yeah, Stanley, Idaho.
No bad ace.
Those guys, they took over up there and then come to Texas and then all of a sudden they're playing all over the United States.
Dude,
that's like the same thing that happened with Lucero. There's just that one band out of some random state in the United States that jumped to stardom like that, which is really cool.
I guess you could say who was it? The Kings of Leon, or like the Black Pumas,
Did you ever watch that documentary over Kings of Leon?
No, I never did. I need to go check that out.
Yeah, you definitely need to. It's a great documentary.
Yeah, I definitely need to check that out.
Yeah.
You know, you were talking about put an album on repeat and everything. I had Ryder Grimes on here last week, and he was talking about he does that with Tracy Lawrence live at Billy Bob's, and he was like, he said, and I've got it sitting right next to me. As soon as I get off this interview, I'm going to put that in and just listen to it constantly.
And one of my favorite live from Billy Bob's album is Stone of the Root live at Billy Bob's.
Dude, yes. Down in Flames is like a killer. Of course, I mean, feet don't. Dude, Stoney's got so many hits. I thought it was cool when he came back and redid all them songs. That was awesome.
Yeah, man. One song that I absolutely love by Stoney is Box Number 10. He does that Jim Croce tune.
Yeah.
And, dude, I've listened to Box Number 10 ever since I was a little kid.
See, I think another one that doesn't get the recognition is either Velvet or Downtown.
Dude, so I still play Downtown to this day. Downtown was like one of the first songs I learned.
Oh, my gosh, it's a good song.
And it's one of my favorites to play. And I play Velvet, too, which is super cool.
Dude.
I used to wear that CD out. Whenever I was, like, in choir and stuff.
Uh-huh.
A couple years before that was when Velvet came out. So I had the Live from Billy Bob's CD as Tony. I had the Velvet CD. What CD had Down in Flames on it?
Oh, crap. What was that?
Can't remember what CD that was, but I had that CD as well. And I remember the cover of the CD, like the CD case was like a velvet CD case, which was super, super cool. And I wore those out.
It was like maroon, wasn't it? And then it was gold writing.
Yeah. But it was like that. It was like a velvet maroon, like.
Yeah.
It was almost like a suede type deal.
Yeah, of course. Let me ask you this. Who do you think did a better version of Down in Flames? Stoney the Brewer or Brandon Jenkins?
Nah. Man. It's hard because I was actually a Stoney LaRue fan before I was a Brandon Jenkins fan.
Uh-huh.
So me personally, I would say Stoney LaRue, but seeing that me and Brandon Jenkins look the same, you know.
I could see it.
I definitely have to give him credit.
Yeah, rest in peace, Brandon Jenkins.
Yeah, R.I.P., man. It was really funny because I get mistaken for two people, or actually maybe four people. So back when I had a shorter beard, I used to be, people used to like call me Chris Kyle for some reason. And then the other three in the music industry, some people, I don't know how they mix me up with Luke Combs, but they really do. And like I've had some, like, I don't know if they're just being stupid and committed to a joke, but there's this one time these group of girls like legitimately thought I was Luke Combs. And I told them again that I wasn't, and they were not having it. And then Brandon Jenkins, which is really cool. I got to play after he passed away. I got to play his benefit that they had in Fort Worth. And
oh, yeah.
I was happy to be a part of that. And I still have like the Red Dirt Legend wristbands.
That's awesome.
In my dresser in there. And then another one that I get mixed up with is the drummer for Cody Johnson, Miles Stone.
Oh, yeah.
And I think, like, people told me a few times that they're like, hey, you kind of like Miles Stone. And I was like, dude, I don't even know who that is. And they're like, dude, check this out. And they showed me like Cody Johnson's drummer, and I was like, oh shit. And like we were being drunk whenever my buddy was saying this.
Uh-huh.
And so I got on Instagram and I followed him. And I don't know if he like hates me or not. I got on this kick that anytime I was drunk and I scrolled past one of his Instagram photos, I'd be like, Dad? Is that you, Dad? And
Messaging Dad?
dude, I would comment on every photo and just be like, Dad? Question mark, question mark. And
That's
dude,
funny.
he never liked it. He never replied to anything. And I was like, I'm pretty sure this guy hates me. He doesn't even know who I am.
That's funny. Oh
Yeah.
man. That's crazy. Of course, yeah, Cody and them, golly, they they just exploded. My first Red Dirt show that I ever went to was I saw him open up for Aaron Walton at Cane's. And who would have ever thought that now that dude is just selling out rodeos and arenas and crazy.
So a long time ago, I had a real long time ago, like before I was 18, my cousin and brother, I think they're around like 18 or 20 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a place in town called Rocket Cafe, and they were big into the Texas country scene. And we saw Cody Johnson at Rocket Cafe a long time ago. Before there was maybe 12 people in this bar.
Yeah, he
And,
played in Lawton.
And my cousin tells me that like Cody Johnson came up to him and was like, "Hey guys, stick around. We're about to get on stage," and hands him a CD. And it was a CD, a black and white label.
Was that the Jack Daniels one?
Yes.
That's a cool
And,
album.
It was just a fucking burnt CD, didn't have no casing on it. And they wrote on Sharpie on top of it. Like, it was super, super cool.
That's awesome.
And it had one of my favorite songs ever written by any artist ever. Have you ever heard Jesse's Name by Cody Johnson?
I think I have. I've got that album on my phone. I think I've heard of it.
Go back and listen to Jesse's Name. It's basically a song about I haven't heard it in so long. I usually don't listen to like old shit until we're talking about it, and I'm like, shit, I need to listen to that.
Yeah.
But it's basically about two people falling in love and him getting her name tattooed on his chest, and it's Jesse's name, you know?
Yeah.
And they end up like, she ends up, you know, passing away, and you got to listen to the song, dude. It moves you more. Like, the more you listen to it, the more you pick up on everything that he's saying, and you're just like, God damn, I forgot Cody Johnson can write this heavy of lyrics.
Well, that's like John Fulbright. What's that one song he wrote about Jack and what was the girl's name where he worked in the fields?
You're talking about Zane Williams?
John Fulbright.
There was one that Zane Williams wrote called Jake Met Jill, I think.
Yeah, I remember that one. Of course, my favorite by Zane Williams is While I Was Away. That's a great one.
That's a solid tune.
And then, of course, Ride With Me.
Oh, yeah. You know, that was really cool whenever I found out that Zane Williams actually wrote that song.
Yeah. I'll tell you what's cool. Here in town, like when you first get into town, there's a little Quinta Inn on the side, on the right side of the road, and that's where BJ Barnum wrote Wichita Falls. Are you there, buddy?
Yeah.
Okay.
What'd you say?
So, right there, when you come into town, there's a La Quinta on the right side of the road, over there by Whataburger, kind of. Yes, sir. That's where B.J. Barnum wrote Wichita Falls.
Oh, gotcha. I definitely missed that completely.
You're good.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Speaking of La Quinta, so I used to actually work at Big O in Ennis. I worked there for a summer announcing at the track. And me and my wife, We stayed right there at the La Quinta, right there by the high school in Waxahachie.
Yeah, right on.
Heck yeah, dude. So when you're talking about Waxahachie, I was like, they got a nice football field.
Yeah, super, super nice. How long ago was that?
About two or 3 years ago.
Oh, yeah, so you saw the big badass football field.
Oh yeah. I was like, wow.
Hell. Yeah, we were actually the first seniors to get to play on that football field.
What year did you graduate?
2012.
Okay. I graduated in 2014. So yeah.
Right. Ain't too far.
Yeah, not too far. We ate at that Fuzzy's a couple times right there in town.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so glad about that so we don't have to drive so far away.
Dude, and he got a Waffle House. It was awesome.
And I like to think that Waxahachie has, like, the one thing I do love about Waxahachie is it's like one of the biggest towns around.
Definitely.
But it's slowly growing and still a hometown feel, which is super cool to me.
Dude, what's crazy? Y'all got a HEB now.
Yeah, they're actually in transition to make it a super HEB, which I'm excited about because I'll only shop at HEB. I'll go to Walmart.
Yeah, definitely, and not Target. Not especially now.
And I stopped going to Walmart a long time ago whenever they had that People of Walmart website. And then I started seeing those people inside Walmart, and I was like, nope.
Dude, so the crazy thing about that, so I used to live in this little bitty town called Indiahoma, right there. Like when you're going to Altus, you know, well, you know, like where the mountains are, like Madison Park and all that.
Yeah.
Okay, so Indiahoma, so, you know, when you're coming out of the mountains and you come, I don't know if you went to Cache or not, but it's on 62. There was this guy, and we called him Diaper Man. Well, he rode this motorcycle around town all the time, and he had these Daisy Dukes that he wore all the time. But someone took a picture of him, I guess, in the Lawton Walmart and put it on that site. And it was like the top 10 or so. And the caption was USA, USA.
I love it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. We just got a new United, just right down from the house. They just got that. Today was the grand opening. Yeah, so that'll be nice. I'm surprised we don't have HEB or a Waffle House. We had a foot. Huh?
One thing I've started to learn is it's great whenever Oklahoma gets things that Texas has. But I just don't think Oklahoma takes as much pride in it as Texas does.
Yeah.
So, like, the few times that we've ate Whataburger in Oklahoma, dude, it has made somebody sick every time.
I believe it. I definitely believe it.
Yeah, so we try to stay, like, with the Oklahoma native stuff whenever we go there. We're like, we tried the Texas thing in Oklahoma, and it doesn't work.
So you hit up Brahms?
Yeah, Brahms, absolutely. Brahms is bomb in Oklahoma.
Yes.
Like, in Texas, it's good. Don't get me wrong. But in Oklahoma, they take Brahms fucking serious.
Exactly. I was telling my wife that the other day. I was like, there's just something about when you have a Brahms burger in Oklahoma, it just tastes so much better. Like,
whenever we played Canes with Pecos and them, we stopped at Brahms, and we literally all just looked at each other and was like, why is Texas not this good? Like, our bomb in Texas and our Brahms can't be like this good? So Jesus.
Yeah.
And mind you, I mean, I say this, but we stopped like in some like nowhere town. But I feel like every town in Oklahoma is a nowhere town unless it's like Stillwater or OKC, you know?
Uh-huh.
So it's like we stopped in some nowhere town, The Brahms looked all run down. You go in, inside looks great. Food's amazing. And you're just like Texas wants to make all their Brahms look good.
Exactly.
The food ain't holding up with it, you know?
Dude, that's the best. Like, I'm trying to think of one that has a rundown Brahms. Where was the town at? Was it like over by Tulsa or
It was on the way to Tulsa somewhere. I can't remember. I think it was like an hour out of Tulsa.
hour out of Tulsa? I'm trying to think what town that'd be.
Man, we just jumped off the interstate and it was right there. It was literally like gas station Brahms. That was it.
Oh dang, that narrows it down. It was an easy go to, probably, wasn't it?
It was like a straight go to. Like we didn't have much to choose from.
Yeah.
So we just got gas, walked to Brahms, got Brahms, and we smashed it real quick, and then got on the road to Tulsa. But fuck, it was good.
I'll tell you, dude, it's really cool if you ever go to Tuttle, and when you drive by the dairy, just seeing how big that place is, it's crazy. But yeah.
You say Tuttle?
Tuttle, yeah.
What the hell is that at?
So, like when you're coming into OKC and you see Newcastle, you see that exit that says Newcastle, Tuttle, Minko, that exit deal.
I got you.
Yeah, it's just because those towns are weird how they're all together. They call it Tri-City. There's a Mexican place. I think it's still there. It's over there and like over by the Walmart there in the Tri-City area, but like it's called Carlitos. Oh my gosh, dude. It's like, so good.
Man, we got that. We played Oklahoma City literally not that long ago with Mickey and the Motor Cars. Which actually kind of crazy weekend, but there's like a burger that's connected to Beer City Music Hall.
Oh yeah.
It was pretty solid.
Was it
It was
F&B?
great. We played there, and then we played in where was it? It's in the middle of nowhere. It's up closer to the Panhandle.
Oh, was it Goodwill or Catoosa?
No, it's Elk City. It's like right before you get to the Panhandle.
Oh, okay. Well,
Is it, or is it the opposite?
you're close. I mean, really, it's kind of Elk City's kind of a weird spot. It's close to the Texas Panhandle. I'm not trying to correct you.
Yeah, not good.
But
You're good.
it's in the western part of Oklahoma.
Just not that far up.
Yeah, not as far as like Woodward and all that, but yeah.
Yeah.
not to correct you or nothing.
You're good, dude. I'm slowly learning Oklahoma.
Well, I'm slowly learning Texas.
Every town is like what I've noticed is like every town in between like bigger towns are just like native names, and you can't fucking say none of them right.
Yeah. It's funny. So, I mean, I'm not really a Jason Aldean fan. I mean, I like some of his songs, but when he came out with that song Flyover States, and that was one of the lines, be Oklahoma, just a bunch of square corn fields made it all looks the same. Miles and miles of back roads and highways connected towns with funny names. And I heard that and I was like, that is so true. Because, let me think. There's, especially, dude, in that area, there's Wampanoag, there's Watonga, there's, of course, there's like Mangum and stuff and all that, but that's not weird. But like you get like, what's another weird one? Wampanoag. The thing about Chickasha. Yeah. Yeah, definitely Chickasha or Chickasaw. No, Chickasaw.
Yeah, Chickasaw. That's what I was calling it.
let's see. Well, like every time I tell somebody I'm from Chattanooga, they're like, Tennessee? No, Oklahoma. Dude, we were at an academic meet one time, and like these are supposed to be like smart kids, and we lived in Indiahoma at the time, and we had a kid come up to us and say, "So is Indiahoma where Indiana and Oklahoma meet?" And I was like, "What?" Like, dude, you're like on the academic team, and but
Should you know?
yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, it's weird. I'll tell you what's weird. There's a Texoma, but it is nowhere near like Lake Texoma. It's like up in up north, and then there's a Hooker up there in that area, and their old mascot was the Horny Toads, but they had to change it to the Bulldogs because there was another school called Arapahoe over in that area, and they didn't have enough for a baseball team or something, and they had to combine them. And yeah, it's definitely it's crazy. Also, there's like, of course, Texas. There's no consolidated schools at all. They're all ISD, But like Oklahoma, like there's so many consolidated schools like Pond Creek Hunter, Arapahoe Butler, just weird, There's a place near Tulsa called OK, Oklahoma. Which I always thought that was weird. And then there's a Nowhere, Oklahoma, Nowata, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Pink, Oklahoma. It's weird, man. Yeah.
Yeah, we got a Dumas, Texas.
Yeah, you got the. Is it?
You heard of Dumas?
I was gonna say, is it pronounced Dumas or Dumas?
I don't know. I always say dumb.
Yeah, I always thought it was. Of course, I don't know. It's weird. Now that I've lived here for about 5 years, and just seeing like how big Texas actually is, like it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like
Texas is mad.
Yeah, it's like you can go.
I think it's 18 hours from the furthest point to like the two furthest points of Texas.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 18 or 22 hours or something like that.
I believe it.
Like I took a drive to the other side of Missouri and back, and that was 18 hours or 20 hours. So I can go to the other side of Missouri and back to my hometown before you make it across the state of Texas from the furthest points.
That's crazy, dude. Yeah.
It's perks. I guess that's why we're all so prideful around here.
Well, and the weird thing about Texas, here's what I've learned. Like, Texas could be its own country.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, for real, like, if they were...
There's a joke to secede from the United States for just about forever.
Yeah.
Texas is the state that can, like, lawfully. And you also have to understand that Texas has, like, everything that you need to survive. We have the swamplands. We have the ocean. We have the plains. We have hills. We have mountains. We have just about every piece of land that is around the United States all in one state.
I was going to say, it's so crazy, like, when you start going, east and towards the Piney Woods, and it's like we took a trip to Canton one time and like Tyler, and I'm like, this doesn't feel like Texas anymore.
And the beautiful thing about, like, that's why HEB is so prominent in Texas, because like, how like Waxahachie has the Great Value brand, HEB has like its own HEB brand, and it's pretty much all Texas made. For the most part, it's all like Texas fruits, Texas vegetables, Texas raised meat.
Uh-huh.
Like all the ingredients that are from Texas is kind of like HEB's claim to fame. Is like everything that's made in house is from Texas ground,
Right?
which is great, and gives us more of a big head and makes us more prideful. Because we're like, we can fucking do it all on our own.
We're from Texas and we don't give a damn.
But man, dude, I hate to fucking cut our good conversation short, but I gotta take my ass to the gym before it closes down. And dude, I'd definitely love to jump on and do this again. We've had some solid conversations for sure. Dude,
heck yeah. Yeah, Thomas told me, Logan, he was like, you need to get Canaan on there, man. He said, oh, dude, he did want me to ask you about the story about, what was it? What was it? A story about him or something? I can't remember what it was. But he said, ask Canaan sometime when you have him on here.
Dude, so whenever COVID happened, so me and Logan have been friends from high school. I've known the kid forever. He, came to my, eighth birthday party. That's how long we've known each other.
Wow.
And we went to elementary school together. And I was already doing the music thing, and then he kind of started to kind of pick up and be curious about music. And at the time, it was me. My roommate was a musician. My other roommate was a musician, and Holly was here as well. Obviously she's a musician.
Mm-hmm.
So, he came over here whenever we started becoming friends when COVID happened. And dude, he would just come over here and we would do just jam sessions, and we'd all play our new songs. And it really kind of pushed him to do, the music stuff. And he's asked me just about anything you could ask me about music. And, I've been upfront and honest about just about everything with him. And any question he asks, I'll try and answer to my best ability. And, so did Holly and my other two roommates. And
was one of them Gump?
Yeah, Gump's my best friend and roommate.
Dude, that's who it was. It wasn't Logan, it was Gump. Told me to ask you a story. I forgot what it was, but yeah. Now I remember.
Hold on, let me. Hey, Gump, can you open the door? It's Crow Time Podcast. What do you want? What do you want him to ask me?
Ask you what?
He said that Gump told whenever you get Canaan on to ask him about a story.
I was probably asked that.
Okay. Bro, so we got a show in Durant, Oklahoma, and it's on Easter. And it was it's hard to have shows on holidays because everybody's doing family shit.
Right.
So we're headlining Bubba's Brew House, and I was the idiot that booked it on a fucking Easter weekend. So, we had 12 people come out to see us, and it was a fun night. We still put on a good show. So the old bar manager, Moose, he kind of started doing his own thing, and I know Moose from playing in Durant.
Mm-hmm.
And he called me up on the way to Durant. He was like, "Hey man, got a tattoo gun. I want to give y'all tattoos tonight." And I was like, "Hell yeah, bring it to the fucking green room." So we finished the show at Bubba's. We're hanging out in the back. We're just getting absolutely obliterated because it's Easter weekend. We're not dealing with our families, and we just had 15 people show up in Durant. So we just was like, "Hey, let's party down a little bit." And then we're getting completely drunk, and I can't remember who popped out the joint. And Gump's not much of a smoker, so on top of being completely hammered, Gump starts smoking weed, and he gets completely cross-faded.
Oh, dang.
he's like stumbling over his words, and I felt bad for him because whenever Gump gets like that, he's just like useless. You got to walk him everywhere. No, but so me and Moose, we were like, "What are you gonna get?" And he was like, "I don't know, man." And Moose was like, "How about you get your name on your ass?" He comes like, "I'll do it." And I was like, "Yeah, he will. Hell yeah, he will." And so, like, we didn't give him a chance to take it back. We immediately grabbed him, took him to the bathroom. I was like, "Pull your pants down, dude." And I, like, soaped up his butt cheek and with, like, a razor, shaved his butt cheek for him. And then with a ballpoint pen, wrote your name on his ass. And immediately took him to the green room. And Moose started digging away. And he woke up the next day and was like, "Why? Why did y'all do this to me?" And I was like, "Hey, man, you gave us the word." And so, yeah, now my old Gump claim to fame is that he has my handwriting on his ass.
Yeah, it's funny. So when I had him on here, you were playing an acoustic show, and he was about to head out and go see you. And he was telling me, he's like, "Dude, if you ever have Canaan on here," he was like, I think it was that story because he was like, "You got to ask him about it, and he'll tell you."
Oh yeah, it's probably I have to tell it because he probably don't remember much of it. And it was funny because like he stayed up pretty much all night with us. We were there till the wee hours of the morning, and I think I got like 3 different tattoos, and he got 3 different tattoos. A couple other people got tattoos. Like pretty much my whole crew, we all got matching tats.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. There's a dispensary right across the street, isn't there? Or is it next door? I think.
I'm not exactly sure.
Because I remember I had Buck Buffalo on here, and he was talking about when the cowbirds, not cow turds, when they were playing there, he said they went in the green room, and there was like this cheesecake, and it was an edible, and he like took a big old bite, and Mason was like, "Dude, you just ate about 60 milligrams of THC."
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But
man, we played it was Bubba Palooza, I think.
Oh yeah.
It was like Reed Southall, Cody West, Chris Colston, and then we played the after party. And we're on stage jamming the fuck out. There's a shit ton of people in there. All of a sudden, one of the dispensaries just like, it's like, "Hey man, I got y'all some joints," and gave us like 9 joints on the stage. And you know, I'll smoke, but I'm not like a huge smoker. But man, grab one of them motherfuckers, lit it up. It was a solid time. Bubba's is the place to be in Oklahoma. The guy that owns it is an incredible dude, always willing to help out where he can.
They changed it into now it's like a full-on venue, isn't it now, or something? I saw where they changed some stuff up on it.
Yeah, they're not just like an open bar. They only do just venues now.
Yeah.
Or just like big shows.
So where can people find you on the socials, bro?
Yeah, man. So Instagram is Canaan Bryce Music. Facebook is Canaan Bryce. Website, CanonBryceMusic.com. TikTok is just Canaan Bryce. Like the word just Canaan Bryce. And my Twitter is the same thing, just Canaan Bryce. I had a lot of friends, like, whenever I started music, and they were just like, "Oh, fuck Canaan Bryce coming around." Like, I'm just Canaan Bryce. We can leave it as just Canaan if you want to.
Just Canaan.
But
so I gotta ask you this. So Gump told me you got an OnlyFans also.
It's only bands.
Only bands.
Yeah. I'm basically gonna start an OnlyFans, and it's just gonna be stupid videos of me and the band backstage.
Dude, somebody told me that this guy in Kansas did an OnlyFans just to promote his music, and he would like title the videos like "Daddy belting out after punching the wood" or something. and it was just him playing a song in the freaking kitchen. He made like $500 in a month. I was like, that's the way to do it.
Man, that's the move right there, man.
Yeah. So
hey, if the girls can do it, the guys can do it too. You know.
I know, right? So
well, I appreciate you having me on, dude. I'm gonna get this workout in, and let's do it again soon.
All right, buddy. Sounds good. Thanks for coming on.
All right, brother. It's crow time, baby.
Yes, sir. 50th episode special, actually.
Right on, man. I'll take that all day, every day. Well, we'll catch you on the flip side, man.
All right, buddy.
All right, see you.
All right.
You're on here, and you're trying to find that perfect sandblaster. You don't know who to call. Why don't you call my buddy Reed Latham with Reed's Abrasive Blasting? They'll come out to where you are. Yes, that's right. You don't have to go anywhere. They will find you, and they will come out there. They handle auto, industrial, and residential products. So why don't you give them a call at 940-867-3701. You can also shoot them a text at that same number, or you can send them an email at reedsabrasiveblasting@gmail.com. And while you're at it, give them a like on Facebook at Reed's Abrasive Blasting.
Have you heard of the new company right here in Wichita Falls called What's Up 940? They'll show you the latest deals and steals and the hottest events right here in the Falls. Just go follow them on all social medias at What's Up 940. Well, folks, I think that's going to do it for this episode of It's Crow Time. I want to thank our special guest, Mr. Canaan Bryce, for coming on today. Make sure you go check out his music on all streaming platforms, including his latest single, OKC, which we talked about and everything. And it was good to hear the story behind it. I always love hearing that behind artist songs, so that was really cool to hear that. And make sure you go check out that band that he talked about, Lucero. You might find something that you like now. All right, with that being said, we want to thank all our listeners for your continued support, and we want to thank our supporters, Lazenby Landscaping out of Stillwater, Your Stitch Fix Company out of Walters, Death Before Pop Country, What's Up 940, Deep Down Outfitters right here in the Falls, War Bonnet Records right here in the Falls, Spur One Management, Elite Roofing and Restoration out of Yukon, Oklahoma, Reed's Abrasive Blasting, and Texas Heritage Clothing. Without y'all, we couldn't have got to this incredible milestone. And I am beyond grateful for all the messages that I've gotten, the compliments, and the likes we've gotten. It's just, it's amazing. And it's awesome to just see it out there in the community. You know, when I started this back in 21, I never thought we'd get to where we were, especially when we took that hiatus. When I'm just going to be honest with you, when our episodes sounded like crap, and that was on my end, and I never thought that we'd see this day, but here it is, episode number 50 in the books, and here's to 50 more. All right, folks, so until we meet here next time, we'll see you again right here on It's Crow Time. Good night, everybody.